For the first few minutes of this episode, the part of Steve will be narrated by this bot because he messed up and accidentally recorded all of us instead of just his voice. Hope you all enjoy.
Okay. It's you and me.
Oh, that's
and all of the people. I don't know why.
I can't keep my eyes off of you.
All right, whatever. We're using that. Hello, welcome. What is this? Welcome to episode 9. This is episode 9.
I thought it was
wait.
10. It's 10.
You're right. It's episode 10. We're fucking
we just
stupid.
did
I'm
9.
sorry,
Guys. We recorded twice this week.
Listen, yeah, this is our second recording of the week because we just wanted cushion. One of the videos that we had recorded previously went wrong. If you watched our last episode, we explained the whole thing. But anyways, yeah, we're back. Episode 10. Off the bat, if you hear any of our fans slash ACs slash whatever the fuck, please excuse the background noise just because it is hot as balls right now. Today, I think right now it reached like 105 or some shit like that. 105 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's showing 104.
Where I was at today, it was 113.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, that was headache inducing. I remember we were outside, me and my dad cleaning because we're cleaners, family business, and they have an outside like kitchen island. It's for the pool, though. That's the idea.
Okay.
But they want us to clean it like as if it's a kitchen, just to clean it up. It was like murder.
I imagine.
Went into the house.
That.
It was nice. Then came back out. Then went back into the house. Then came back out. Then I went back in, and I was like, "That is headache inducing. That is not fun." She was like, "Yeah, this is not the heat that you like stay out in and stuff like that." So
fuck the heat to begin with. First of all, I hate
There's
hot.
no heat that I like.
No,
like I'd rather be fucking
cold as shit.
Like wearing a bunch of layers.
Yeah.
Bro, I have fucking sweaters, jackets, and hoodies lined up, just ready for the fucking winter.
Yeah.
Soon as first day of winter kicks in, dude, I'm throwing the warmest jacket on and be like, I don't give a fuck.
All three of us, funny enough, dress as if we live on the East Coast.
Well, yeah, because it's more. Listen, I'm not saying that we're, like fucking fashion designers or anything, but I think we could dress ourselves pretty well. But when you style and shit is usually a lot of layers, and what the fuck is that shit gets hot, and living in fucking California is just like, yeah, that shit all happens like maybe 1 month, 2 if you're lucky. But
and for those of you that say you don't have to layer, you get accessorized. For me, as a big person, as much as I sweat and like how sensitive my skin can get, I could just imagine like a piece of like I always like the look of like bags, like leather bags, but like a nice thin cable or strap or something. But like just the idea of that rubbing, like this alone rubbing right here bothers the shit out of me. That's why I'm always like messing with it to like pull it forward. But yeah, just things like jewelry rubbing on me and stuff like that, it leads to a rash if I don't take care of it pretty well. Yeah, it's very annoying.
Fuck that.
Fuck the heat.
But yeah, anyway, fuck the heat. Again, excuse the noise if you hear it. Well,
podcast.
Jesus.
We tried fixing that like 2 episodes ago too. Anyway,
No.
we'll never fix it. Whatever. Welcome. Okay, so I have a few topics prepared. We'll start with the first one. So I don't know this person's name. It was a TikTok that I saw, but what's it called? It just made me start thinking about statuses and like where we might be at in the future / what would we do if we did it. Basically, it was this girl who went to some super fancy ass religious camp or whatever the fuck. But it's like that the camp is specifically made for the rich. So only like super wealthy people send like their kids there for the summer, whatever the fuck it is, right? But she got in because her mom, I think, was nursing, or like she's a nurse, and she went there to work, and they let her bring her along, for free. So what's it called? While she was there, she just basically just started talking with all the people and stuff, and you get those like icebreaker questions where it's like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up, or like in this case it was what are your plans for the future and stuff like that. And the majority of them were all answering like, oh well, my parents are paying for me to go to college, or my parents are paying me for me to go to university, or things like that, right? And then when it was her turn, she said, "Oh well, I'm enlisting into the army," uh, and everyone just kind of looked at her like, "Why? Like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that?" And she explained like, "Well, on top of fighting for your country or whatever, joining the army, you could go to school. They pay for you
They
or
pay for your
college
education.
for your education." And everyone just apparently it was just like the most dumbfounded looks, where it was just like, they realized like, it's just like this separation of worlds essentially. Like the rich
Yeah.
people really do live in a fucking separate world from us common folk, where
Do you do you think that like because people are rich, like there's like there has to be, right? Like someone's rich kid is in the army. Like they're like in whatever branch.
I
Like
really don't think
Oh.
so though.
I don't
Well,
think
yeah, I feel like there are people with a sense of duty and responsibility to the country that they live in, and there are people in the army that are like, oh yeah, I'm here because I wanna protect, or it's a family thing, or it's a rite of passage. Like there's shit like that. There's some old school like old blood military bloodlines that just do it because it's in the family, or
Sure.
because of insert fucking, I don't know, survivor mentality shit here or whatever.
Mhm.
But not for me.
Yeah, no,
No.
but that's basically what I just wanted to say. Is like, I don't. It's weird to me that obviously there's that gap, but also it's just like how, like, okay, so feature, like, as far as when I was younger, I would always envision myself to be like the successful fucking rich dude, right, or whatever the fuck. And I always told myself, I'm like, personally, if I ever had kids and I was like that rich, I don't know, like, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't spoil them.
Mm.
Like, at least, like, show them the monetary value when it comes to education. Basically show them that, hey, like, this isn't normal. Like, you're kind of living a privileged life. But
Right.
on her TikTok, basically there was all these people that I guess are in the upper class. They started hating on her because they're just like, oh, like, this is kind of like, what's that shit called? It's like
Classes.
classist, exactly. It's just like you're calling us like spoiled brats type of shit, or like you're calling them out saying that they're disrespectful, blah blah blah. I'm like,
I wouldn't say
Oh,
disrespectful.
did she say disrespectful? Did she
well,
use
no.
that language?
no, literally it was just her saying like, literally,
Like, oh, it's just
like-
interesting to see two different
Right,
worlds,
that-
but we're the same age.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't even know, like, as like I'm saying, like, as far as I would, if I had those kids like that and I was rich, I don't think I would even send them to a school like that. At most I'd send them to like a better higher school, but
I think you kind of have to though. No, like if you're that super well off, your family or your parents or whatever are known
mhm.
or have been seen, by like other people, and not everybody has the right intentions in their life. Some people
Well-
have malintent into like, it's like if you don't send the wealthy. I don't want to say rich. You don't send the wealthy kid to like a regular public school like that. There's comfortable, there's well off, and then there's like filthy rich, right? I guess you could say.
I get, yeah.
But from well off up, I think they all go more or less to the same schools because that's what you go. Like they're not gonna send you to like, oh, I mean, at least if I was like well off, I got sent to a public school. Public
Mhm.
school, as we all know, doesn't have the best systems or the best tools or resources for better education compared to like the higher end school.
Right.
So those type of situations, I think like I probably would send my kid there, not because I can afford it, but because I know they would probably have a better education. Obviously, morals and standards and things like that come about, but that's something you can teach even if you were in that upper class. So I don't think the school itself would have anything to do with that, at least for me.
I think that's the, like, coming from someone that kind of like I was online a lot. It's like,
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of a way to like expedite the explanation. I was online a lot and met a lot of different peoples, and like a lot of people that were like, we were on the cusp of like online. Like our parents kind of like, if your parents are technically savvy, like my dad was gaming online with his coworkers and he had a mic and everything.
Mhm.
But then I got into gaming and then I started getting online with 360 and stuff like that. And I feel like we got into the cusp of like online chatting, basically. Like we grew
Mhm.
up with computers instead of like iPhones and stuff. But at the time, there wasn't really that like internet etiquette. So like I was hanging out with like 20-something-year-olds, people that already had kids, people that were like doing shit like that. And I remember talking to my friend and telling her about my allowance situation, like stuff like that. Like the difference was like I would get $7 a week, and that's only if I'm doing a chore every single day,
Mhm.
and that was it. So the most I can make in a week or in a month was $28. And to me, as I'm older now, that's not how you teach a kid the value of a dollar. That's stupid.
Mm.
Why the fuck would you give a kid 28? Like that doesn't give the kid the opportunity to save, to understand the value of saving, smart spending, stuff like that. That's just, you're giving a kid the bare minimum, and they're always scratching for more because they never have enough from their own hands.
Mhm.
So with my friend, she gave her kid, I think it was like 50 a month or 40 a month or something like that. She was a little bit more well off, but they were always skirting by, but they always made sure that the kid was well and what he was doing. But I think it kind of starts there, like at the core of it, of like kind of early teachings. Like if it was me, I would want to put my kid through public school in middle school, elementary, middle, and then public would be better education, higher learning. If I'm well off, because like Richard's saying, I wouldn't want my kid to kind of just be grown up in a privileged household or like in a privileged situation. Like, yes, come home and mom and dad are like, we're good where we're at, or dad and dad are good where we're at, or whatever. And you're comfortable. You're at home and you're comfortable. That's what I would want. I would want home to be comfortable.
Mhm.
In the real world, that's real world. That's where I want you to kind of like understand yourself and understand other people and respect other people and their living situation. And when it comes down to like the standard normal folk, I feel like you kind of meet and understand a lot of different lives in public schools, because not everybody's well off, and everybody's cut from the same cloth and stuff like that. You got different walks of life everywhere. So,
Right.
but in high school, that's where I feel like it kind of matters. Like some colleges will look at middle school and high school stuff, but I feel like high school is where I'm like, okay, like you understand our way of life. Like then this is where we kind of like want to see what we're gonna do. Are you gonna like? There is some type of control for me when it comes down to that, where I would want my kid to kind of understand and start thinking like, okay, do you want to do higher learning? What kind of higher learning? Do you want to work? What kind of work?
Mhm.
Because like me, I fucking hate school. I just can't stand that shit. It was never my thing. I just didn't like it. The most I liked about it was the social aspects and like English and creative and hands-on shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that kind of just goes with teaching. I don't know, but for the people that kind of got mad at her for pointing it out, it's like, babe, at that point, if the shoe fits,
Yeah. Bro.
like
Yeah.
you're getting mad at someone explaining a situation that they had with a realization that, oh, we're not all from the same place. We don't all come from hard upbringings.
So what
So
when
if you're
I
mad at that, then
Yeah.
self-evaluation's needed.
what I got out of that is like the people that were getting mad at her, I was just like, I feel like I saw this on Twitter as somebody said like this very pessimistic view is just like happiness is ignorance, where like what's it called?
Mm-hmm.
Where or delusional, where basically
I
like
can kind of see that.
especially for as far as she was kind of like explaining, or like I guess she kind of put it into a scenario where like they're all happy living in their
In their bubble.
in their bubble, right? Exactly, because unlike some people or like a lot of the lower class or whatever, they're not worried about shit like what's it called, food.
They don't gotta worry that
new
if
clothes.
they get sick, they have to pay for it.
Right.
And, like, they might go bankrupt for a medical bill, or
Right.
if they're gonna get new clothing for the new school year, shit like
Right,
that.
and even to that, like all of us, like we're privileged enough to not be too like worried about
Mhm.
of what's it called, having clothes on our backs or anything like that. Thankfully, like, that's also our personal little bubble where we're not fucking, like compare us to, people like children in Africa or
Even worse
things like
off.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
These things that
Mhm.
always come up where it's like, there's always somebody less privileged than you. But what's it called? Everybody that was getting pissed off at her, it was just literally like, dude, like, you're just mad because I guess in a sense, this kind of started opening the doorway to seeing like, hey, like, you know what, the world isn't that perfect, at least not to everybody. So like,
Yeah.
be happy for what you have,
It
especially.
kind of goes with the type of people that don't like news. Like they
Right,
don't
right.
like hearing the news because it's too depressing or
Mhm.
it's too real, and it's like, welcome to the world. Of
Yeah.
course it's real. You're not in your own bubble. You're not on TikTok just watching dances and doing shit like that. Like, I kind of agree with ignorance is bliss a little bit, because I remember what really got me when I first started doing this cleaning stuff was we were working and cleaning, and even now it doesn't bother me as much because I kind of like to do those kind of jobs on my own, because that's kind of a way I take care of it. Was when we clean or work for people around my age, because then it's like, wow, look at this dude, look at this person starting a startup or being an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
being a stage director, being a receptionist at a game company. He's a fucking goober. Like, what the fuck? Well, I could do that. That could have been me, and blah 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 blah. But then it's like, that's just how it is sometimes. That's just life.
Yeah.
And it's just better to just roll with it, not let it fucking affect you so much, because it's not happening to you at the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah.
So I
Mhm.
don't know.
I like going along with that. It's just like, so the ignorance is bliss thing, obviously, like,
Mm.
you know, it is, because at the end of the day, you're not really getting too worried about, the shittier stuff in life. The whole news thing is like, the people that don't pay attention to it do get to live in this bubble, like we're talking about. What's it called? You have to realize, like, some shit is happening out there. It's important to stay connected to what's happening, because at the end
Mhm.
of the day, it's important to know where you stand, and also like,
Mhm.
if you
Where other
could,
people
yeah, if you
stand.
could do anything for the less fortunate or whatever the fuck it is, that's great too. This is
Mhm.
getting a little preachy, but I'm just like,
Well,
I was just like, I don't know why people would get mad at it, besides literally just being a
to
Debbie Downer,
self-evaluate
seeing
and
like,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
being seen
Mhm.
like a Debbie Downer type of shit.
I think it's just more along the lines of like people like that, or people in that class, or just any class in general, is like whenever you're talking about something that has to do with like them
Mm-hmm.
or
Mhm.
whoever, it opens up the gate to like other people's opinion, and it's like
People are
maybe
touchy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and like these are
Mhm.
probably things that they already know or they
Yeah.
understand. So when it's brought up to light, it's like, okay, now we just look like even worse people, you
Yeah.
know? So things like that, like moments like that, I think are like what piss these people off. It's not necessarily along the lines of like they grow like anger to it, but I think it's just they don't like being called out because they know they're part of that group.
Right.
Whether they want to be, whether they don't want to be, they're part of that group, and they're part of that I guess you could say that agenda.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like I think that's why people get upset
Yeah.
because you open up the gate to opinions, and a lot of people don't like listening to the even if they're wrong or right, like they don't like listening to these opinions because it has to do with them, and now but I've always found it weird for the people who like get upset because it's like, why do you think you have the need to like defend yourself? Like they're not calling you out specifically. Like you're part of the group, sure, but it's like you're outing yourself now because now you're trying to give your 2 cents, and everyone's combative argument probably be like, oh well, you grew up wealthy, like you don't got to worry about this shit, you don't got to worry
Yeah.
about these things. But it's like, that's why I'm like, that's why I asked. I was like, you think there's people like within that like money range who like do serve or fall into that aspect of like, yeah, my family can afford it, but
Yeah.
it's the way I think it's the way you're raised, because some people like, I've met people who are like, yeah, that's not my money, that's my dad's money, that's my parents' money. It's like it's that's theirs, they worked for it. Like one of like, someone I know, I'm not even gonna say it, someone I know like is in that situation where a beautiful home, fucking gorgeous home, but he's very like, look, yes, I live there because I don't have anywhere else to go. But my mom was very keen on like when you turn 18, you're gonna get a job, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. Like
Mhm.
you don't gotta worry. You don't gotta worry about the money situation because it's not there. But you need to learn the dollar value amount of an everyday person who works because you can
Yeah.
live comfortably, but we're not gonna be here forever. You know, this money's not gonna last.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Basically, I just wanted to know, like, when it came to like, if you were like I said, the rich parent in this case, like sending, or like, would you kind of
off to
like
boarding school.
lead your, would you kind of like, you know, I'd spoil them basically, and like I say, I don't think I would.
Have.
I would.
Maybe.
I would obviously.
I would have spoiled my kid.
Would you? Yeah.
I want them to understand that they don't have to worry too much, but I want them to understand that same thing. Where anybody could die any second. A fucking plane wheel could hit me
Right.
in the head right now. Like
He's not wrong,
Like,
dude. That's just
yeah,
scares
no,
the
literally.
fuck out of me, dude.
like that happens. As
Yeah.
ridiculous as it is, and how rare it is of an occurrence.
But it could.
It's still like, you know,
Yeah.
that's life. Shit happens and it sucks. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I'd be half. Like I'd want my kids to understand that I do love them and that I care enough to want to make sure that they're comfortable, but also remind them that they are privileged and that to like give them examples or experience
Right.
like dealing with
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're
being
all.
uncomfortable.
I think we're all in
guess.
that same
Yeah.
mindset. That kind of
Oh,
leads.
not.
Huh?
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
If you wanted, I was gonna change topics. That's why, because I don't know if you.
Yeah.
wrote
No.
something.
That was too.
I was just saying, like, leading into this, because I seen something else, and now that we're on the topic more or less of like, oh, like, you know, this is how I would teach my kid or whatever the fuck. Did you see? Fuck, I forgot what state. Point is, some state is reinstating the thing where it's like,
Corporate punishment.
yes,
I think it's
Open punishment.
corporate.
no
So
corporate.
Corporate punishment.
basically,
I don't want to say Illinois, but it's like something like
It's
that.
one of the
Tennessee or Illinois
it's
or
one of the
something.
southern states, huh?
I'm gonna be. It's one of those.
It's one of the red states.
It's one of those yeehaw.
No, red. We'll say red. I was like,
No, I don't even know if it's red. Whatever. Point it.
Yeehaw is fucking handsome down out here, but you know.
Handsome damn. Orange County.
Fuck.
Whatever. The point is,
Y'all
the state.
gonna drown.
The state. All there.
Missouri.
I knew it was Missouri. I didn't want to say
Missouri.
it because I was like, it sounds
That's why I
way
said
too
southern-
stereotypical.
I said
Missouri
southern.
districts bring back corporal punishment at the urging of parents. it
What does that
says.
mean?
So it just means that
So-
schools
Can spank
can
kids.
spank kids with parents' permission. And I was just like,
Hey, look.
no. At least straight out from me, no. I don't care who the fuck you think you are. You're not touching my kid. Like, I
Like-
would no.
If you know your kid's a fucking
So
Okay, so yes.
bastard,
I
a
don't
bad
even know.
word.
So the school states allowing corporal punishment in schools. There's more than just Missouri. I think it's Indiana, Wyoming, Connecticut, Arizona, Texas. Of
course, Arizona's part of that.
Kansas. What's MO?
Man,
Missouri?
No, I wasn't-
Isn't that Missouri?
I thought Missouri.
no, Missouri's MP, no.
Where is
No,
there
wait.
a P
I saw-
in Missouri?
sorry, I'm like Mississippi.
Isn't Missouri
think that might be
MI
Missouri.
or something like that? Yeah, it's MI.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's Michigan. Oh wait, no, that's Ohio. Wait,
Fuck.
that makes sense. That's
Yeah,
that,
This is
no,
the
we're not
American.
Michigan and
geologists.
Ohio.
We didn't
that's-
go to rich people schools.
Yeah.
Either way,
I-
there's a lot of so some allowed on some
It's Missouri.
students is I think that's Oklahoma, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Tennessee.
They already allow it?
They're allowed on some students. But the ones that I said before are allowed on all students.
Right.
As long as the parents approve.
North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia.
Dude, imagine like telling your
Florida.
fucking kid, be like, yo, you don't behave, I'm gonna tell the teacher to beat your ass.
I mean, it kind of depends on like honestly, I'm not a big
How
fan
shitty
of
your
like
kid
people
is?
putting their hands on like my kids, I would imagine either. But I think about like kids in my school, like one of them he went through a teacher's like bag when she walked out of the class and it was in middle school and she
Wow.
he found one of her pads, and then when she walked through the door, he threw it near her head and it landed on the door or something. I think he got it wet with a water bottle or something.
Well,
And he almost hit her with it. So she was super
Embarrassed.
pissed because
Kids are
everybody was
pieces of
laughing.
shit.
So she went up to him, and I guess she was like in his face, and I don't know if she hit him first or he hit her first or pushed her, but it was basically physical touches were swapped, and she did smack him in the face because of what he did, and she got fired because of it. But
I'm sure. Yeah.
honestly,
Okay.
like
That's
he
it.
kind of
Wait,
he kind of
like-
deserves it. Like I wouldn't if I find out my kid is doing shit like that, then it's kind of like you're
Like-
gonna get it when you get home.
Yeah.
Whether it be me telling you you're a fuck up and then you get shit taken away from you,
But I'm gonna let
or
you get it.
it's like a slap on the hand or something like that. But to make sure it's even more enforced, like you shouldn't be doing like that makes me look bad. That makes
Yeah.
me look like
As
I'm
a
not
parent.
doing my job right. When I feel like at that point I should have been doing my job well enough to you not be doing shit like that.
Yeah.
If you're doing shit like that, there's a whole plethora of shit that we're gonna do. Your life will change at that point.
Yep.
Not that I'm gonna be like a piece of shit about it, but I want to. That's shit that you got to get down to the root of because
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think back
there's
to all the
a-
fuck up kids at my school. I don't want my kid being the next fucking
Yeah,
class clown that disrespects people like that. Hell no.
Mhm.
I couldn't stand kids like that in my school.
There's my little. So I picked up my little sister from school today, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was. I was like, oh, how's it's her first official week in high school.
Oh yeah.
She's a
that's
ninth
right.
grader?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's a ninth grader.
Wow.
I know, it's crazy. So she was like, I asked her, I was like, oh, how's it going? She's like, it's okay. You know, the typical teenage girl response or
It's
teenage
fine.
kid. Yeah. But I was like, anything interesting? She's like, on the second day, she was like, some kid like basically grabbed the dean's shirt and he fucking yanked it down and ripped it. And like he swung at him because the dean
The
was
dean?
the dean.
The dean swung at the kid.
No, the kid swung at the dean.
Oh, the kid swung at the
because
dean.
the dean was like, hey, like you can't have beanies, like you know the rules, like they're not allowed to wear like hoodies or beanies or anything like that. No hats, none of that. Because of the whole unfortunate school shooting situations and things like that, they want like kids to be like fully visible at all times. I don't know.
It's also
But-
No, I get it, but it's
also
still
dress
like,
code and shit like that.
ugh.
well. I was gonna
Yeah.
say also at least that was like, in the case of my old high school. It was also like gang shit. Because,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
A lot of it's
That's
that
what
too.
my school was. You couldn't have specific colors.
Right. Oh,
You could
yeah.
have like
mine didn't go that
everything
far.
else, but you couldn't have
We did.
specific because I live out here in South LA,
Yeah.
so
We couldn't
where
have
I
certain
went to
patterns
school,
either.
you like the entrance was to the school on the north side, connected to another school ground, or you exited out the south side, the back way, through the personal entrance of my school, and then that led out into like a bunch of like what am I trying to think of factories.
Mm.
Past the factories is railroad tracks. Past that, South LA, Compton, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like people were kind of living in that area, kind of living over here on my side, and then there was another part that was also like a little bit more like there was like Latino gangs over here, and then there was like actually they were all around, especially in my side of my town, especially where I live. So it was just
Mhm.
they wanted specific colors not worn. Basically, I think it was like reds, of course, but like in like specific color pieces,
Okay.
like bandanas and beanies and hats most of the time. And then I think at one point they didn't want team hats. I think you couldn't wear Raiders
Oh, yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah,
No
you couldn't
Raiders.
wear-
If
yeah,
you wore
that's what-
anything
that
Raiders
was my school,
related,
though.
it was confiscated and then you get it back at the end of the day.
Mm.
But you couldn't wear it on school grounds.
Yeah.
You got it at the end.
You know, there's just some kids that I'm like, they kind of deserve it, dude. Like,
Sometimes, man, I don't know. Some
It's like,
kids
imagine-
suck.
like imagine in a few years, right? You have kids. You're super busy at work for whatever it is you're doing, and you know that time is money at this point, right? Imagine being called to the school, not only because your kid did something really fucking stupid, but now you have to come and show your face, be embarrassed for you and your kid, and have people look at you like, wow, that's a bad parent. Like, you really, like, this is how your kid's raised? Like, they're okay with this at the household? Like, I remember one of my fights, the assistant principal told my dad, my dad went off on them. But yeah, that's another story for another day. But he basically was like, she was like, in her words, they were like, I don't know, like, if it's okay for you guys to be behaving like that at home, but here we don't tolerate that. and he was like, first of all, blah 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 blah, and he just went in.
Yeah.
Mm.
But it's like, yeah, you know, it's like it's embarrassing. Like it's embarrassing, and it like not only do you embarrass your parents, but you also like you're now kids are laughing at you because you did something stupid, and you're gonna be the laughing stock of the conversation of the day. You know.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have my kid do that shit.
I think it's different. Like, at least when I say no or to it, I'm thinking more along the lines. First of all, I'm pretty sure we're all in the same boat where we're thinking to ourselves, we're never gonna have shit kids to that point, like where they just fucking, you know, disrespecting
That's what I would
left and
hope,
forth.
man.
God, I hope not.
Right.
I just think about those. There are those rare cases of kids and people that had a normal upbringing,
Right.
loving family, no issues, mass murder.
Yeah.
School shit, like that shit happens. That's why I'm like, let me catch you
That shit
looking at
scares me
pipe
too,
bomb
though.
shit. Let me catch you looking at fertilizer. I'll handle it.
Yeah.
Your grandpa will handle it. I don't care. He may be in a wheelchair, but that ain't going to
Fuck.
stop him.
I'm
But
gonna fling that shit at him.
yeah, so I mean, that's why I was saying, like, personally, like, I wouldn't want
FBI,
to
that was a
because
joke, by the way. I'm talking hypothetically speaking. If I have kids in the future, just for reference, FBI.
we never know. These are all hypotheticals.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if there's shit kids like that, obviously, you know, at least also because we grew up in Latino households where let's be real, you know, you got the shit beat out of you for being rude, being really stupid, disrespectful.
And stuff like that.
Yeah. What's it called? Not to say that it's the best thing, but personally speaking too, it's just at least for me, it wasn't anywhere near enough to the point where I'm, you know, I came out fucked up, although some people do. That's my main concern. It's just that,
Yeah.
you know, I don't want somebody being the judge as to when it's
They're
okay
the
to
judge, jury, executioner of when it's okay to punish your
spank
kid
them
corporally.
only
Yeah.
again, only time I would accept that is in the case that you said where like the kid threw the fucking, you know, swing first, or like did something like, you know, that, you know, just something physical towards the
I feel like we would all agree also that us being okay with corporal punishment in certain aspects or in certain situations is exactly that. In certain situations where that kid is downright, like, as an adult, if an adult did that to you,
Yeah,
what
He's
would
just
you do?
fucking, like rotting his shit.
yeah.
Like, what would you do? Would you smack them? Would you want to push them? Anything physical. If it's to that degree, then I feel like, okay, I'm not saying that. Well, I am kind of saying physical violence is okay when it comes to, you know, defending your shit. But when it comes to a kid, it's like,
Boarding school.
boarding school, military.
Fuck.
yeah, I don't know, man. There's just so
Not-
many. There's just so many like what ifs, and like it has to be.
It's a case by
finely
case
tuned,
thing, really.
And it's also like an aspect of, because we've all had teachers, and I'm pretty sure everybody else has had teachers that are like power trip. Like teachers that get off on just telling the class clown to go sit in the corner by themselves facing the wall. Like, what's the point in doing that? The kid's not going to learn in that. You have some like energy
He's
ADHD, undiagnosed ADHD child sitting in the corner. Congratulations, now you're creating a monster for the next school session or the next class.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. I think corporal punishment, I don't know, it's just it's a fine line of like you're just waiting for a lawsuit to happen, honestly. But I would assume that if corporal punishment is incorporated into the curriculum, then there's some type of lawsuit protection or something that you've already signed away your rights to as a parent to allow your kid to go to a school that has corporal punishment and incorporate it into it.
Yeah.
So
But
I don't know. I don't think I personally don't think I would enroll my kid into a school like that. If it's all states in the school, then yeah. I think with all that being said, I think I would still tell the teacher off if they did hit my kid.
yeah,
Because I would tell them I'm gonna handle it at home. Because I'm pretty sure if you think it's a good enough reason, I might think it's a good enough reason.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
because I'm not gonna belt a fucking kid or do some shit like that. The most that I got, which was good enough for me, was a smack on the hand, and then my dad fucking emotionally traumatizing us with like yelling in big words. So
Right.
that was good enough for me, and I can guarantee that might work for my kid too. Because I'm
Yeah.
not saying I'm scary, but I'm kind of a bitch. So
We're kids of all trauma.
Listen, that
yeah,
being said,
different forms of trauma.
that being said, not planning on having kids anytime fucking soon.
Yeah, no, I
fuck
can
kids.
barely, I can't even keep a man. Like, what the fuck? When am I gonna have a kid?
Fuck kids to begin with, but anyway.
Kids kind of suck.
Yeah, these two kids are fucking annoying. Like, you brought.
Dude, just the stories about because she's working.
Oh
with kids.
yeah, she's working with kids now.
Dude, it's the funniest shit. Like her little, like the way she describes it, because I mean, she's a sweetheart, so obviously she's not gonna be like full on
Us
blunt.
about it.
But there's times where it comes out, and she's like, dude, fuck these little kids. But like, I was like, how's your day going? She's like, yeah, you know, a lot of crying, a lot of screaming, a lot of Miss Jessica, like this kid said, damn, this kid blah blah. Like she's like a lot of opening juice and milk boxes, you know, like she's like chilling. But it's hilarious. Like today she was like, dude, like she sent me a video and she's like leading them out to the cafeteria, and they're just fucking running and screaming like behind her, like I'm like, dude, they're just little drunk human beings. But
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just
That's
a bunch of
literally what
kids
it
just
is.
hocked up on
But-
mob mentality.
yeah, but she's doing TK, so traditional kindergarten, transitioning
What's-
kindergarten.
What's that?
It's 4 and 5 year old.
Oh, so is it?
So it's like straight
Pre-K?
out like before pre-K. It's pre-K, but they don't call it
Yeah.
pre-K anymore apparently. So no.
Oh,
Yeah. But
okay,
it's
okay.
like the way I,
transitional kindergarten.
yeah,
TK.
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 So the way like I was like, oh, like I had asked her something about it, like the job. I was like, so they basically said, here's my dumb little one.
Take care of it.
Take care of
Yeah.
him for a few hours.
Yeah.
But she was like, to her understanding, she was like, dude, I didn't know like how fucking dumb kids really are. Like from the get go, like she's like, some of them don't even know how to spell their names.
Well,
She's like,
yeah.
obviously there's like all the little kids get packed with extra clothes because some of them do like have accidents and stuff.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, but it's cute, and like all these kids are from like wealthy class kids.
Yeah.
You know? But it's like they all like, some of the parents, like you could tell they come from like not the best upbringings either, because of the way they're like they like, just as like, dude, they come in nice cars, dress nicely, pick up their kids, blah blah blah. She's like, but they're all very like humble, like their kids are very humble, you know, like you could tell, and you could tell which ones are like she can start like separating the groups of kids of like who's who, who's what, and like how they're being like brought up in a sense. So it's always funny the way she explains this shit though.
I just imagine, well, because I have a little baby, well, we call her baby niece. She's already 4, 5? Peaches. She recently started school too. She's in kinder. I could be wrong. I don't know. Point is, I'm just imagining a bunch of little hers running around. Dude, she's so. There's moments where she's like, you're like, dude, like, how do you know this stuff? Like, how, like, you know, like, they're just smarter than you think sometimes. But then other times
Kids
you're
are
just like,
sponges, bro.
but then
Kids
other
are
times it's
sponges.
just like, hey, you're fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Kids are sponges. They watch cartoons. That's a sponge. Absorbing
yep.
fucking. God, I was gonna say Bugs Bunny. They don't
Yeah.
have Bugs Bunny nowadays.
No.
Bugs
Yeah.
Bunny had us jumping off of fucking rooftops, thinking an
fucking-
umbrella was gonna be enough.
Gumball.
Not even, dude. Like, that's-
Dude, I would hope my kid would grow up and have a gumball. Then my kid would be hilarious.
Well,
Gumball was
yeah.
funny and had existential life questions.
I'm just saying,
Or Steven Universe. I wish my kid would have shit like that growing up.
no kid would be into Steven Universe. I feel like Steven Universe is a fucking.
That's what I'm hoping for, though. That's
Yeah.
what I would hope, is that I have a kid that would be into it, because the emotional intelligence that goes into Steven Universe and like that long game shit that they play on that show
Yeah.
is fucked, but also really good. So
Yeah.
These are the kids that grew up watching what's that camp one? The one on
Laszlo?
Disney?
Oh,
No. With the two kids. The two kids and the grandpa.
Phineas and Ferb.
No.
Oh.
It's another, it's
a camp?
they have a little, yeah, they're in the forest basically. It just
Oh,
ended.
I know what you're talking about. Wait, no. Is it a cartoon
Is
or
it
is
the
it
one
live?
where the grandpa
it's
has like
a cartoon.
Is it the
Yeah,
one where
yeah,
the grandpa
yeah,
has like a little hat? and
Yeah,
then-
yeah.
Oh,
Mhm. The little-
Mystery Falls or something like that. I think.
Oh, Gravity
Yes,
Falls.
yeah, yeah.
Gravity Falls.
Gravity
Falls,
Falls.
yeah,
Yeah, but Gravity Falls
Yeah.
was good.
Gravity
It-
Falls is, I think,
it
our
was-
generation too.
it was
isn't
good,
Or
but
like
It was
very
good, and it
It's
had a
near
lot
the end
of
our generation.
and it had a lot of like
Oh,
that same type of humor as Gumball sometimes. Like, dude, that show was good.
I think Gravity Falls also did diverge from. I forgot what show I said that a lot of the devil.
Oh, we
Flapjack,
talked about this
I think.
before. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a callback to one of our older
Yeah,
episodes.
go watch.
Watch our older shit.
episode. I'm pretty sure that was in our
I think
first
it's
one.
3 or 2.
No, I'm pretty sure
No,
that was
I
our
think
first one.
I mentioned it,
I
I think,
wanna
in like
say
2
2.
episodes because it was a little piece of information that I thought was really cool, so it might be
Yeah.
in 2 of them.
Might be
Whatever.
in two,
Go
yeah.
watch all the
don't
episodes
know.
till you find it, and
Yeah,
then
just watch our episodes. and
Let us know.
in the comment
Put in the
section.
comment where it's at so we know where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, timestamp it too.
Thank you.
Homework.
Yeah.
Homework.
Homework. We're talking about school.
You are talking about school, but anyway, so yeah, kids like that age,
Kids are
they're
sponges
just
and
so,
they're bastards.
they're so dumb. But I was also saying like, I don't think they would like most kids at least these days don't grow up even watching TV anymore. Like I'm talking with Peaches specifically, like Peaches,
iPad kid.
iPad
Oh, yeah,
kid.
you said she's an
but-
iPad kid, yeah.
Even when she is watching TV, like we do have a smart TV, so YouTube, a lot of fucking YouTube.
That's my mom now. She'll
yeah.
watch like Home on the Prairie, or she's watching it's kind of I don't even know, they're like vlogs really, but it's kind of like mood board videos. Like it's just
That's funny.
a woman of her age that is just like, one woman is into modern like dark blacks and greens and just kind of shows her space and what she's buying from a haul, and then another woman is like modern boho chic LA girl. She's blonde, blue eyed, and thin, and she's hip. So
Huh.
Dude,
that's
our parents.
the kind of shit my mom watches on
It's
YouTube.
funny, like our parents, like falling into like the new generation of like smart TVs and shit, and having access to all these things. It's the funniest shit to like what
dude.
my dad watches. Dude,
Dude.
my dad watches the most boring and like I don't know. It's just he just
My dad
watches
is-
dumb shit.
Constantly trying to keep himself busy. We're watching project videos, watching how to fix things
Yeah,
on his
that's
own.
dude,
cool.
that's my
So-
dad.
He'll be
And law
watching
videos.
something that is like
Law.
how to reupholster bike cushion or whatever, or he'll watch how to like set up an e-bike that he recently bought, and then he'll like go through that rabbit
Yeah.
hole. Or because our parents are in this new age of technology, my dad, again, I think I've mentioned he's a gamer. Again, call back to another episode. That might be episode 3, I think. But he's a gamer. And he plays a lot of Red Dead. He records
I
himself,
love it.
uploads it to YouTube or
No
Facebook.
way.
Really?
And then links it. He does it so he links it to his friends so that they can watch it, because he
That's
wants them to
cute.
get a kick on what's going on, so that they can laugh, because he has 2 homies
Oh,
like us. It's basically us but older, and they just shoot the shit and they giggle and they laugh about it.
Hilarious.
But one of his videos has 1,000 views.
Oh shit.
hey,
I
yo.
know, and it was recently
Wait,
posted.
what does he do?
We're gonna
Like, he
collab
just
with
runs
your
around
dad.
Oh, so this one specifically was, I think it was how like, does God mode really work, or is God mode real? And I think his name is Lee Rock or something like that on
love it.
YouTube. And it's a 1,000 viewed Red Dead Redemption 2 video. And there's like a God mode and stuff like that. And I've heard my dad like the way he plays, and he's so giddy that I was like, I'm not surprised, because a lot of his older stuff, he's got like repair videos of like my Murano when my mom was driving it, and that shit has like thousands
Bro.
of views.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So-
yeah.
You talked about the repair thing, and I'm just like,
Hmm.
do you guys know who Chris Fix is?
No.
So he's this YouTuber. All he does is just upload videos of how to fix things on your car, like how to, like swap out parts, stuff like that. Listen, I'm not handy whatsoever fucking ever. I'll admit that I can't. Like, I can do super basic shit, but I'm not
Change
one
a
to
wheel?
just. Yeah, I could do that, but I'm not one
I
to
can
go.
patch a hole.
I'm not one that can just fucking go in and just like be like, oh, that's what's wrong with it, and then immediately know how to diagnose all this shit or whatever the fuck, and like fix it or whatever. So
Dude. It's YouTube University.
right, but along with that, just me in general, I'm lazy. I'm probably never actually like fucking do it myself. I'll probably end up going to a mechanic anyway. But anyway, I love watching his fucking videos because it's just something so fucking satisfying about watching somebody work on a car or do something.
The process.
Like the whole
Yeah.
process, he makes
Yeah.
it really fucking entertaining. That dude has like 5 million subscribers. Like,
yeah.
because the community is just like, at least for him, is like very supportive, and people do learn a lot like just watching that kind of stuff. And like I said, I think it's just, at least for me, it's good background noise sometimes, just hearing somebody work on a car or whatever the fuck it is.
Stuff like that always trips me out when it comes, like when people watch or consume stuff like that,
Mhm.
but they don't understand like ASMR to a certain extent. It's not the exact same, mind you, but it's still like it's a form of satisfaction. Like it's just watching someone like cut soap is like I'm not really into
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. I have a friend who's into that stuff. She likes watching them, and I remember her and I like kind of like bonding over because I remember on Snapchat they had a specific kind of soap cutting where it's not just like what's the like sheets or like shedding, they're like blocks or like
I've seen
squares.
those. Yeah.
It's just cool to look at, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I just think it's neat to see like just a cut and it's just I was like, oh, that's cool. But I think it's just like I understand not liking it to like a certain like it's not your cup of tea, but to like like it for it like a disdain.
Oh.
It's like, homie, you watch a guy fucking replace oil and you think that's satisfying. I watch someone and listen to them like tell me I'm having a good day or calm me down from an anxiety attack because I need it. We're very two different things. I don't yuck your yum, don't yuck mine.
Yeah.
We're a very distinguished group of trauma.
Yeah, that for sure. One time I was 100% having a really bad anxiety attack, and I didn't know what to do, and I didn't really want to call someone. And it was either gonna be Bill, most likely, because she was like, I think I talked to her recently at that point, and I was like, I need to call someone. I thought maybe she'd be up, but it was like fairly late, and I didn't want to like call her at 3 a.m. and be like, "Hi, trauma dump, I need help." And everybody else I didn't want to bother. So I literally went on YouTube. I had YouTube and I was like, ASMR. I am having an anxiety attack, or ASMR anxiety attack. And I watched the video and like helps. It helped a lot. Breathing exercises, stuff like that. And it wasn't even anything like creepy or anything like that. It was just very like, you'll be all right. Just breathe. Do these things. Center yourself. Sit like this. Do this. It's just self-help basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, awesome.
YouTube's
I
a great
felt
place
so
sometimes.
much better. Yeah.
I
so-
remember now. My dad does watch a vlogger. It's just like this guy who like, I don't know. I think he lives like in Arizona. I think. He's Hispanic. It's a Spanish like YouTuber, but he runs around and hikes. And like sometimes he has his gun because obviously he's like
Stomp.
there's
No.
yeah.
I just thought about him hiking with his dog.
Yeah, I literally said that the other time. He didn't know what the fuck that was from. I was like, "Where's Lee?"
Yeah, but that shit was funny. Like I catch him watching it, and like he literally keeps up. As like, oh, he dropped a new episode today. And I was like,
Cute.
I was like, you're funny, dude. And he'll sit there, and the dude's vlogs are like 40 minutes,
Dude,
but he just vlogs him and his
Listen.
dog like running around
those
like
are
on
the long
mountaintops.
videos, honestly, kind of fuck.
so
Kind of satisfying.
I've
It's nice having 40 minutes of background noise.
I've noticed this because YouTube has had like a long history of like what their algorithm prefers or what
Pushes
it'll
out,
promote.
yeah. Mhm.
So I've noticed a lot more that a lot of people are saying that it used to be the shorter like 3-minute videos or whatever the fuck it was.
Those
Yeah.
were the money makers.
Those were the
yeah.
money makers, but now they're saying like, dude, it's all about retention, and the long
Yeah.
videos are getting like their thing, and I'm like, yes, like
It was like 3-minute videos, then it was 10-minute videos, then it was
Yeah.
12, then it was 15, and then I think once it hit 15, I think that's when it was like, okay, now we're more open. Like I don't think it ever got to 30, then jumped up to like an hour, but
So a lot of
those
people, a lot of
longer
vloggers
ones.
are doing like in like 30 minutes max.
yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But I feel like I think that's the jump now is like, from 15, maybe 30. I feel like people went from 15 and just said, fuck it, we're just gonna put out as much as we want, like make
Yeah.
it as however long as we want it to be, and go from there.
Yeah, but
yeah.
it's funny.
Personally, I like watching those videos, just having in the background at least. It's just good background noise for me.
Yeah, I remember one time I think I was playing something and I watched a 3-hour video essay on Berserk the manga.
I don't blame you. That fucking anime is a trip.
For those of you that don't know, Berserk is also, weirdly enough, I mean, it's not old like One Piece
It's
old maybe.
It's like early 2000, no?
Even I don't even know. I feel like it's even older than that. The point is that it's a fairly critically acclaimed, fan loved piece of Japanese comic. Like
Yeah.
it's really good, but it's very, very long. And just recently, may he rest in peace, the creator did pass, His brother's picking it up though, and the animation studio is continuing with the story, which is
dude. 1990
fantastic.
is when it first.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Damn,
Is that-
really?
I don't know why it's
November
not considered. Well, I guess I kind of know why. Is because the at some points the author really got really bad writer's block and would stop for a while. So I think that's why it was hard to keep their attention. But the people that were there that really loved it, really loved it, and like.
Dude,
I don't know. You can anybody that tells you they're into Berserk, I'm pretty sure will like have nothing but praise for it because it's such a well put together piece of anime media.
Yeah, Berserk first premiered in 1988 with a 48-page prototype, which won a prize of the Kami Manga School. He enrolled at the time. So that's cool.
Yeah, my point is that I watched 3 hours of that because, and I first I was playing and then. It got like there's an anime and it got to the point where it like past anime and what they were talking about was interesting and I was like shit and just sat there and watched for like the last 2 hours.
The fact that you can multitask that mid game.
Yeah, I mean it was fine, but that's the thing is like after a while it just got so interesting that I was like consume, no game, consume. Like that's all I was about.
I think it was cool. The longest I've ever like fully watched, I think it was like 2 hours and I think 15 minutes, something like that. And it was literally a video of this guy building a classical guitar from scratch. So
that's cool.
That's cool. Down to like the wood, like by themselves and cutting it into pieces or whatever the fuck. But yeah, you started talking about the ASMR thing, and I'm just like. You know what? It did kind of have some ASMR aspects because you do hear them like fucking like, shaving the wood and fucking, what's it called? Just kind of like, whatever.
ASMR doesn't have to give you tingles, people. It doesn't have to be ear licking. It doesn't have to be eating food. It doesn't have to be mouth sounds. It doesn't have to be a mukbang or whatever. It doesn't have to be any of that. That's the best part about ASMR that I love so much is that it's so diverse that you could literally find anything. I weirdly enough like the sound of like fabric, like rubbing a mic or brushing a mic, like just hearing it's just so soft. I like soft sounds. I hate hard sounds. I hate rough sounds. I hate it when people grind and rub shit together that's like rough or tough texture. I'm just like it's like nails on a chalkboard. Like it makes my teeth hurt thinking of an eraser shaved down like metal on like paper.
I get what you're saying.
Like that shit hurts, and that's what it kind of gives me when it's hard material that's just like rubbing on something. I'm just like, ugh,
yeah,
stop it. But it's for everyone. There's a little bit of everything for everybody, honestly.
Sure.
Especially if you're trying to peruse those fucking 2 hour long videos. I don't know.
So
I mean, assuming someone's on the computer or doing something long enough for 2 hours to like really consume that kind of media. So
I was just because we're running short on time, there was a topic I did want to reach. Something that's been popping up a lot on like my TikToks, especially. There's a big conversation happening now. Is like a lot of people obviously are on both sides, either yes or no. When the question is, what do you think? Like, do you think it's a red flag when a dude lives with his parents?
Oh. I saw this. Okay, so I think I saw this.
I've seen like
TikTok before.
I've seen like 8 of them already.
All right.
But it's like people explaining.
I think we're biased to it, honestly.
We're okay.
Like for me, no, but
it's like I was watching.
Live at home.
Yeah, so do I. I think we all do.
We all do. I think okay. So I'll just go. I think in this day and age, and then especially for us who we live in California, one of the fucking most expensive places to live, it's not just because realistically we're in the biggest fucking just financial disadvantage that you could possibly be
our
in.
generation.
Yes,
yeah.
because
compared to the generation
before, exactly. Yeah. Inflation is a fucking thing. What's it called?
We're in a recession.
All of these fucking factors, the fucking pandemic, all of these fucking world-changing events happening when we're not even old enough to get a job yet, and then once we do finally get a job, the whole world is in a fucking constant state of shock where just trying to get your fucking bag is really
just
fucking
trying to stop the hemorrhaging from happening.
It's really fucking
just
hard.
To ride the wave,
right? So no, obviously there are some people that have been able to get are fortunate enough and hard, I guess, in a sense, kind of hardworking enough to the point where they did manage to move out and have their own place or whatever. And to those people, it's like great, but at the same time, I'm not gonna be, a stickler and be like, what's it called? It's an expectation. It's not an expectation anymore for once you turn 18, you're out of the house. It's like
It also falls in because you said expect like like it's expected or whatever, but or sorry, the fortunate people. There's also the unfortunate people who had to do it for whatever X reason, like parents passed, parents abuse, whatever the reason is, But yeah, I saw a lot of people like I was obviously I dived into it and I started reading I was like wonder what people are saying, like let me see if I can find an asshole. And a lot of people were like there was rare ones, but they were being like stupid about it. But a lot of people were like, "Hey, look, I was born in the '80s. I was born in the early '70s. These were the expectations, like you mentioned." They're like, everyone's like, "Look, I may if I could, I would still live with my parents. Like, live with them as long as you. They're like, live with them as long as you can, or live with them as long as they can with you. They're like because as long as you're getting your bag, you're saving your money." You're doing something that's supposed to support you and push you, and you have a game plan. Better said is that's okay nowadays. But a lot of people are like, I wish I could have lived with my parents because living by yourself and eating couple noodles is a fucking financial rut that sucks. And a lot of people are like, we're not there anymore. But believe me, we were there a few years ago.
Yeah.
My mom just recently explained to me because I asked her, I was like, yo, how did we end up in the valley? Like I really don't remember that,
Yeah.
And one of the conversation was like, your dad couldn't find work at the time, and he was like, we went back and forth, but like this is like prior to the last time that we officially moved out here. She was like, in one day's worth of work, he made $30, and your grandmother at the time, bless her soul, she was like, yo, I can't see you guys like this, like come out here. And the only reason why they did was because my mom pushed it. My dad was like, no, it's fucking boring out there, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, like, it's like, there's a lot of people who had the unfortunate situation, just like my parents. And I'm sure a lot of other parents were like, they do wish they lived with their parents because that shit's not easy. Like now, especially nowadays, it's nearly impossible. It's like, I mean, like I'm on the side of it's cool. Like that's not an issue. Why would it be, But because I grew up in apartments my whole life up to the earlier years now is like we live in a house, so yeah, like if I could, like I saw other people posting where it was like my parents are 70 and 78 years old, like you think if someone breaks in here they can defend themselves? Like no, I live here, I help them, they I grew, like he was like they adopted me to begin with, he's like so I owe them my entire life. But I have my own thing. I do my own thing. I have my own space. It's just I'm here to help them as much as they helped me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I get it. Like, But yeah, there's a bunch of people who are like, oh, that's a red flag. And it's like, dude, these are the type of people who are looking for like the quote unquote perfect man or woman. It's like that doesn't exist. Like, good luck.
I was gonna say is that I think for people that consider it a red flag, I think those people are
materialistic.
No, I don't even think that. I think it's just like coming from someone that kind of like honestly kind of pings some people's red flag meters. Like, does he take care of himself? No. Does he have a stable job? No. Does he live with his family? Yes. Does he live with mom and dad? Yes. Like, but those are all different aspects of like different things that are my choice or out of my control to a certain degree because of mental health or choices that I made or honestly financial option. The finances aren't just there. But I think for people when it comes down to like when they're saying that it's a red flag, I think it's more in the aspect of for them, because when you think of red flags, you think of like that you're looking for a partner, is that like someone like a red flag? Is that someone that you want to be connected with, whether it be romantically or in a friendship with?
Yeah.
Then I can kind of see like if it's going to be a red flag, then I assume you have your shit together and you're in that point in your life where you want people of like mind in that state of life.
That's fair.
Like ideally for me, I'd be gone. I'd be out this fucking bitch. Like that I love you, mom and dad. But like as a 29-year-old, like not even soon to be, but like I have less than a year till I'm 30-year-old living at home gay man that just recently came out. Barely came out recently, like a year and a half ago or a year now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, a bitch needs to live with some people or something like that, but not with this fucking family.
Mm.
I'm like way past it. Close enough as a cousin or my brother. Like barely even that too.
So
Like I
One of the-
barely leave my room because I treat it as my own space, and like I'd rather just live in this apartment.
Yeah.
Like
one of the comments I saw and laugh were like, imagine telling people, oh, it's a red flag to live with your parents, but then you go visit them and they have like 10 roommates. I
yeah.
was like, yeah. I was like, that's not better.
So
that's where the caveat is for me too. You know, just the situation. It's gotta match. You know.
Yeah.
I would agree with you. I would love to live by myself, but
Yeah,
you
like,
know,
I feel like if almost anyone that lives at home would want to live on
Yeah.
their own.
yeah.
honestly.
So for me personally, so I live, under my parents' roof. But my mom has always told me this, and has told my siblings and everybody else who lives. Sorry, there's a fucking fly in here. So I'm like a little fucking moth. Um, she's always told all of us this who live here. She said, "You're free to go anytime you fucking want. Like, there's nothing holding you here. There's absolutely nothing that I will ever hold against you if you do decide to leave." But she said, "But with the current state of where we're at in this fucking world, where getting a fucking studio apartment, at least where around the area where we live, costs like 1,600 upwards just for a tiny little fucking studio."
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like, why would you do
Yeah.
that rather than be at home and pay, you're part of
Half of what you'd
you're
be
part of the
paying, yeah.
mortgage, which is half of, if not less than what you would be paying in rent. So she said, like, that's one thing for me personally. Also, my parents are a lot older. My dad passing, he was 75. He was 75 years old. And no, I'm sorry, 74. But what's it called? And my mom, she's 67. She just turned 67. I love them to death. My mom, you wouldn't even be able to tell, because that lady just fucking takes insanely good care of herself, and she moves around like she's in her freaking 40s, if that.
Mhm.
But what's it called? I've always felt that there's, especially in a Latino household, family is probably like one of the most important things that you can have, and I'm lucky
Yeah.
enough to say that, because at least for me, I did have a loving household. I did have a really good relationship with
And now they can't stand his ass.
with pretty
You
much
were just
everybody. in
saying,
my
I
family.
did.
No.
That's what I was like.
Yeah.
He's gone.
My
They can't
bad.
stand him. That's why he's in there.
Yeah. But what's it called? I will always just there's that family aspect of like, I don't want to leave them, but at the same time, there is always that thing of like, yes, I do want my own space, or like ideally, I'm pretty sure this is everybody. You want your own kind of household or whatever, where you could just go and not have to worry about
That freedom.
waking somebody up, the freedom or whatever, waking,
Yeah.
Self responsibility and
yeah.
independence.
But at the same time, I'm not complaining about my current living conditions, because at the end of the day, like I said, it's just, it helps with the other stuff that I want to do. So if like, where people who just go out and find a fucking place because they want that freedom end up sacrificing so much of their fucking time to getting second,
To
maybe even
sustaining
third
that.
job. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Just to fucking pay for that place that they literally only go to sleep in, because
Yeah,
they're so fucking
true.
busy doing all these other jobs. So at least for me personally, I would much rather stay here, work on whatever it is that I want to do, so that I can finally get up to that, less worries
To that point.
Yeah, to that
Mhm.
point where I don't have to worry too much about finances or whatever it is. And then,
Yeah.
I might as well take advantage of something that you have now that can lead you to better things further down the line, instead of trying to force something where, you're really much just putting yourself at a really much bigger disadvantage.
Yep.
But
At the end of it too, we are all living in the LA area. It is expensive as shit. The housing market is terrible.
And it's only going up.
And yeah, and like to touch on the whole like Latino household thing, like my cousin, she has 2 full-blown girls, 2 cats, and a husband and herself living in a renovated garage.
Yeah.
That is now a bedroom, and the garage in the back, half of it has now turned into a bedroom for my cousin and his brother.
Yeah.
My other cousin, my 2 cousins, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not an aspect of like sometimes. Like, I'm pretty sure if we were making the same money and we were living fucking Arkansas, fucking Ohio,
yeah.
One of those Corporal
we could
Punishment
afford a
states.
place. Pretty sure all 3 of
Oh,
us
yeah.
should. We could do that. That would be doable. If we were making the money that we're making now. That's what.
Yeah.
That's
Oh yeah,
as-
yeah.
as much people like to say. Money doesn't make happiness, but it does bring freedom.
It does.
It
Very
bring
much
freedom
so.
and comfort.
And then that was my other point
And for
too.
me, comfort makes happy.
Yeah, that was
Comfort food.
that was my other point too. It's like, you know, you could make the argument of like, well, you could just move out somewhere cheaper or whatever the fuck, and it's just like, yes, definitely, you could easily do that, but at the same time, it's like,
I'm gonna be honest. That shit's scary.
it's for me, it's not even scary. I'm not. That shit's boring. Why the fuck?
was gonna say-
Why the fuck would I move out to somewhere like fucking, like you said, Ohio, or whatever the fuck? Oklahoma to
That's
go
such a
to work,
specific
Arkansas.
to go to work, go home, and do absolutely fucking nothing for the rest of your life or whatever the fuck it is that, you know, time that you're there. I'd rather be, you know, like, there is that kind of privilege to living in LA where it's like, yes, it's expensive, but there's
everything's here.
so much to do here.
We live in a vacation state.
Exactly. There's so
Yeah.
much to do here. There's so much that, what's it called? If you
can
really wanted
experience
to,
in this one state.
exactly. And it's
Yeah.
like life is way too short to be fucking just, you know, living in a constant plan.
Financial worry.
Yeah, exactly.
And a plan. Yeah.
and a
but-
plan, but I'm saying like me, I'm also like just the spontaneity of myself in general, where it's just like I don't want to just be fucking going back home and just, you know, sitting there just kind of like, all right, well, this is my life. Like I want something to do, like whether that's going to a club, just fucking going out for food with friends, going out to see an event nearby, whatever the fuck
Being
it is.
social.
You know,
Yeah.
Like, if we had the option to have been, well, I don't know. I kind of
No.
like where we're at technology wise. I was gonna say if we
Yeah.
had an option to kind of like have if we could have the financial privilege that our parents had at their age, at our age, that'd be great.
oh yeah,
That'd be fun.
fuck
But
yeah.
Wishful thinking.
That's wishful thinking. That's
And if the multidimensional theory is real, then there's a dimension where each one of us is financially secure, and we're having this podcast in somebody's apartment or condo or flat.
Look, we're not a group that yucks people yum. If your yum is chopping wood for the rest of your life,
Yeah.
as an activity, by all means. But
Yeah, some people get off on that. Like, some
Yeah.
people
I mean,
love
you like
going to a
ATVing
whole
and
separate
shit.
state
Yeah.
and just starting fresh. Hell, that's
right.
kind of something that I've thought about too. Because I don't know, the whole like aspect of like, what if my family doesn't love me? What are my backups? Like, I could always just say fuck it and just go to a whole ass new state, just start over, brand new.
leave for Wyoming,
Man, howdy.
if that's what they say.
I go live in Alaska, dude. Just fucking ride.
No, dude, that's
Get
the,
a-
that's
get a-
the
Just
end
get
of the
abducted
earth.
by aliens every other weekend. It's fine.
Just get probed by aliens every weekend.
I get never mind.
Hey. Okay.
Thank you for
with that
watching our
being
podcast.
said, Rich, with that being said, Rich, sign us out.
Anything else you guys want to include? Final
Oh, ending
thoughts
remarks.
whatsoever.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to think.
my final remark is, my state's fun. It's expensive as shit, but we'll be alright.
Yeah. Is that it? All right, cool.
Yeah. I
Oh,
can't
don't beat your
think of
kid
anything.
unless it's you.
Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
We can't have that being like the actual final remark. We
No,
should
it's
think of
not.
something.
My final remark is, just stay calm. Everything will be all right. Hopefully. And then, new song came out. Go listen to it. It's called New Gold by Gorillaz and featuring Tame Impala. Don't care.
Sight.
It's good.
Oh, okay. I have a song then.
Kinda mid.
Because it also has gold in it. It's Golden Hour by, I think it's Jake, but the A is a V, so it's I just JVKE, Golden Hour.
Oh,
It's very
gotcha.
nice. It's very cute. Listen to it during the golden hour. Like ideally, I listen to it when I'm coming home from work.
Was that like 6
on
o'clock? 7
Wednesday?
o'clock?
Yesterday, I heard it when I was driving home from work, and peak. That shit was great. That
What-
shit was great. Felt like I was in my own fucking movie. It was awesome.
Dope.
It's a good song.
Dude,
But yeah,
Last night
Golden
was
Hour
a
by
movie.
Jake. Last night was a movie. I made myself a sandwich.
tomorrow's gonna be a movie. I'm going to concert. Yay! But anyway,
I'm gonna be in the LA.
We're gonna go play Destiny now.
we're gonna go play Destiny. We're gonna go have our own fun. But anyway,
Yeah.
thank you guys so
That
much.
room's hot as fuck.
Also, it's hot as fuck. Yeah.
Stay fresh.
Yep,
stay fresh.
Stay fresh. Stay indoors if you can.
Although
Put a fan,
this is,
drink a lot of water.
This will come out 2 weeks after the heat wave, but still.
It's okay. It's
Oh,
still hot
that's
as
right.
shit.
This is. Oh, right. Okay, so this is gonna be delayed by 2 weeks. What's gonna be happening in 2 weeks?
Well, I know. Doesn't your sister's Quince coming up?
Steve is on the 17th.
Right.
So
That'll
that's almost
that'll
like
be more or
that's
less
close to
then.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
That might be the week that this gets uploaded. Honestly,
Maybe
Yeah,
the week
probably.
before, but either way,
maybe the week
Anyways,
after.
I'll let you guys know how the party goes.
we'll let
Yeah,
you
have a good
know.
one.
We'll probably get drunk.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll catch you guys next week. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, letting us know if there's anything specific you guys want us to talk about or your thoughts on anything that we talked about today. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Love you guys. Have a good one.
Choo!